Hey everyone! Wait, why do you look surprised? Are
What are
you
we
on the wrong
doing?
show again?
What day is that? No,
What are you
I
doing?
I was surprised by the 1 year of Captain's Pod, and I was like, oh yeah. I mean, we can still celebrate that. It
Hey,
is the
look.
1 year of Captain Pod.
We are still celebrating 1 year of Captain Pod. Technically, this took at least 7 minutes to put together. So we're gonna recycle this background and we're gonna keep using it. It's not a one and done.
So, hi everybody on Twitch. I am a little concerned because I'm saying that Knife Fight Elmo is having trouble with the video. It says the video was just made unavailable to me.
Yeah, we want to try and fix that if we can.
So I don't know if Knife Fight Elmo, but let me just see if I can figure out what's going on there. But
yeah, I will.
But hi everyone.
ramp
Hi,
and
hello,
down.
hello.
Hello,
Let me make
everybody.
sure. Let me make sure that there's not a weird thing where like somebody is getting booted out for some reason. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how to do that, but we're gonna work on it.
Lolly, why do I hear all countdowns back from 5 in a Thunderbird's voice? That is because you, my friend, had an outstanding childhood, and so did I. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then there's special emphasis. Lolly will know what I mean on that last one. It's like a big 1. Thunderbirds are go. This is
not the show, right? Like, I don't know what's happening. Da, 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 da,
no, that's the wrong. The Legend of Zelda! That took me so long to figure out what you were humming. I know this. It's so weird to hum a tune without knowing what you're humming.
Yeah, I've had that happen before. That was a perfect transition, if you ask me. That was expert level.
They are so similar.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize how similar the Thunderbirds theme was to Legend of Zelda. That's amazing.
Dragon Toast, thank you so much. We appreciate that so much. We can't take credit for all the videos on YouTube.
I can.
Shut up, Ian. Because Ian and I have not been on the CinemaSins team since the very, very beginning, but we are writers for CinemaSins now, and we will pass on the love to the entire team of people.
Yay!
Glad you're back. Glad you're back.
I was back. Woo!
Oh, we're doing good. So yesterday, well, I can't speak for Ian.
Oh, thank. Yeah, Ian's doing great as well. Janae, continue speaking for me.
You're welcome. I will. Yesterday we celebrated our 1 year anniversary, and so we played some Mario Kart together right here. You can actually watch that VOD if you want to later.
It was so much fun. Janae called somebody a bitch.
You did too.
No, I was impersonating
Watch the clip. If you go to our clip section, you'll see the clip. It's Ian's fault.
No. That was clipped afterwards. I was reciting what Danae did. Danae, we're just having a nice conversation, and Danae just cusses someone out for winning.
Thanks, Michael. We appreciate you so much. You thought today was Saturday. Well,
it is not.
It is the holiday weekend, so
yeah.
I'm also in tomorrow and Sunday mode. My phone is blowing up. I did this thing where I just have an open invitation for the next 48 hours. Anyone who wants to come who's in town can come over to the house.
Including you guys. The address will be posted on Twitter after the show.
What is happening? Why does everybody think it's Saturday? That's so funny.
It is not. It's definitely a holiday thing because I think a lot of workplaces shut down today.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
This was Eve.
Just a heads up. I know we're going to talk about this again at the end of the show, but for those of you that are here now, we are going to be doing our next episode of Captain's Pod on Monday because I will not be available to do Captain's Pod on Friday. So we are going to be switching gears. We're doing an episode today with you guys, obviously, here in just a second. And then we're also going to be doing one on Monday. So if you like to watch along, I know it's going to be kind of crazy, but you'll have the holidays, and then on Monday there's just so much. So we're like Mario, Captain's Pod, a couple days more Captain's Pod, and then a whole week and a half with nothing. Nothing.
In England, it will be Boxing Day, which I know isn't as big a deal in America, but Boxing Day is like a second Christmas day, basically. So anyone in England that's watching on Monday, I salute you, and I will be here on Boxing Day. I thought escaping retail meant that I wouldn't have to work on Boxing Day anymore, but apparently not.
Thank you, Lolly. Yes, this is actually the plan, but because of how Twitch's scheduling works, we actually had to kind of like shift some stuff around. So we're going to fix the schedule
but
today.
I have to do it after this episode.
Yeah.
Annoyingly.
So it will show up and you guys can click on your reminders. Thank you for that, Lolly.
Absolutely.
Thank you for volunteering to help us manage our Twitch channel.
Oh no, genuinely, please, we need it. Please, Lolly, we need help. Everyone,
we need help. No, we're fine. We're fine.
Can I tell them? Can I tell them that they have a Christmas present?
Yeah, you should definitely tell them. But hold on, let's just look. Okay. Go on.
Okay, everyone, you have a Christmas present that you have to use
now.
When we ramp, no, not now. When we ramp into, I mean, everyone's going to use it. Everyone's going to use it now anyway.
Do it now.
As soon as I mention
Let's
it, everyone's going to use it.
We
have a red alert emote that you should be able to use. Red alert, and
spam
we
chat.
Want you to use it. Yeah, there it is, Link. Woo! And yeah, we want you to use that. When we go into this instance is futile. Red alert, battle stations, everyone. Yes,
that's so fucking cool.
It's so freaking cool. I love it. I love it. Oh, it's so cool. Red alert.
Yeah, it took a while for that one to clear, and that's fine.
It took like a week. Fine. No, it took like 10 days for that to clear. It's wild.
Yeah.
Way too happy about that. Absolutely love it. Sarah, where in retail did Ian work? I respect retail workers so much because I can't deal with people and they are always so good. I'm really happy that that's been your experience. It's a hard job. Service, retail, they are tricky jobs, and I have so much respect for the people still out there in the field. But I worked for Toys R Us before they went out of business, Sports Direct, which is a clothing brand over here, Wix, which is like a DIY shop over here, and then Homebase. And I was a manager at all of those places. Oh, and Clinton Cards as well. So over the course of 16 years, I managed to get around and manage a few different places. But I have escaped the world of retail.
He got out. We don't know how to put it back in, but we got out.
I did. I abandoned ship. It was really fun.
Thank you, Shireen. Thank you for that. We actually might be doing that. I watch the chat a lot to see, who's here for mods and stuff. So thank you for that.
We definitely need the help for real.
Kmart, Walmart, Target, and GameStop Vet. My gosh.
My dude.
I did retail for just a little bit, and then I was a waitress for a long time. Wow.
Aaron was
wow, Ian.
Well, Aaron did something similar. He said, "Yeah, no, I worked in retail." I was like, "Oh, how long for?" And he was like, 6 days. I was like, "What do you mean? You didn't work in retail? You sniffed it."
I worked in retail for a summer.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a full summer. That's solid. Yeah.
So I'm writing on the Sin script. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't. That's we can't. But
do it.
I paused it. I paused it on the screen. I was reading like this character like looks at their phone, and so it's a shot of their phone, that they had created, and they had created this basically like a LinkedIn type of a thing, right? No, they said the person, and it said like their current job and their job history, and at the bottom of their job history, it said Target retail 9 years. And so I give a sin back for surviving retail for 9 years.
Nice, get it. Everyone's going to think I wrote that now.
They will.
That's amazing. Oh, that's.
I wish I could. I wish I really could. I guess I could give you one of the other things that was on their job history as a hint. So at the very bottom was Target retail, and it said Target, which was interesting. But just above that, it said librarian. So.
Oh, retail and a librarian. I don't know. I know what you're writing at the minute, and I don't know what this is referring to. It's amazing.
Well, it's so hard for us to know exactly, Link, because there's so many different variables that go into play. Once it's written, we then obviously edit it. We review the editing process. We go back to the drawing board if something's not working. Then, we put it up onto the channel, and we kind of have to gauge which ones we want to post. So it's a very fluid system a lot of times. So I don't really know, but I'm hoping soon. I'm hoping soon. Can I sin myself? I've never had a real job. Can't hold. Oh, no, that's not a sin.
No, it's not
a sin.
No self-sins here.
No self-sins. Only I can do that.
Lolly, I went from what's great about this is that when I worked at Clinton's, my regional manager at Clinton's moved to Wix and then dragged me across with her for a better job. And then my new boss at Wix moved to Homebase and then dragged me across. So there's like 3 levels of treachery that went in from Clinton's to Wix to Homebase. Yeah, that was an interesting time. It was just after Homebase's big old comeback.
Can we know if it's a TV Sins or a main channel video? Ooh. Okay, I'll put a poll up and we'll do an actual proper poll.
Polling.
New poll. Should Danae reveal which channel?
Wait, everyone's going to say yes. Who's going to vote no to that?
Some people might.
Come for the Trek talk, stay for all the British talk, right, Governor? Water bottle.
All right, the poll is up. You've got 1 minute to You've got 2 minutes to answer. Your options are no, 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 and okay, maybe not.
You troll.
Those are the options that you guys.
You're absolute troll. That's harsh. It's so.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know. It's a mystery. Yeah. It's a mystery. Okay, so today, guys, we're going to be talking about.
I cannot wait for the reveal that I'm Australian at some point.
Oh my god. We're going to be reviewing obviously Captain's Pod, and for those of you guys who watch Captain's Pod live, you know what I'm about to say, which is that when we start to officially record the podcast, we no longer react to the chat because we are technically recording a podcast and you're watching us record live. So there's things that you're going to see us talking about or hear us talking about that might not make it into the podcast proper. But we do our dick. We usually do our best to like just throw some comments up on the screen, but we don't try to react to them, obviously, because then that would get audio and it makes the editing process quite complicated. However, at the end of recording the official part of the show, we will come back to you and we pin comments that we want to get back to. We have a conversation, chat for a little bit, and then go on to our day, which involves writing more sins for you guys. So
there it does. Speak for yourself. I'm watching more Star Trek.
Are we going to watch more Star Trek today?
I am.
That's on Monday.
I said speak for yourself. I'm going to watch more Star Trek.
All right, fine.
Amazing. Okay, are we ready to... British is not an accent. That is extremely fair.
Ian, you can't. We're supposed to start the show.
You brought up the comment. I didn't bring that up.
I just said we weren't going to react to the comments.
Oh, yeah, but if you put it on screen,
all right.
my mind. It does. It's got Scotland, Wales,
oh my
and
God,
the other
Ian!
bit. Right, sorry, I'm doing it. Scotland, Wales, and the other bit. The Irish are going to kill me. Right, so here we go. Blah, 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 blah. Welcome to 10 Forward, the part of the show where we grab a drink from the replicator, but not a drink anything the ambassador wants, because I'll get told off, and share our immediate thoughts and feelings on the episode. We just want to give the most important question first. What's your beverage of choice? Please do not give the replicator sentience.
Does it have to be a beverage? I was going to say crumpets.
You can have crumpets. Have crumpets.
You just said beverage.
How many lumps?
In a crumpet?
Yeah. Just how many lumps
just a
of butter?
Crumpet with one.
How many lumps of lard on your crumpets? You wouldn't have known what a crumpet was had you not visited England. You would have been so confused by the stuffing of crumpets.
Okay. We'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about crumpets for a second. These things are fucking great.
Right.
If you've never had a crumpet, but you love bread.
It's not like bread.
No.
Crumpets are nothing like bread. This is a terrible comparison.
It's breadish. It's
not.
Consistency-wise, it's breadish.
It's closer to pasta than it is bread. Like, it is.
I understand that, but I'm talking to people who've never had a crumpet before. It is the most fantastic. You know what, Ian? Shush while I talk about crumpets. Shush. I'm an American trying to describe. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Good luck, everybody out there. You can send your complaints to ian@cinemasins.com for not letting me describe crumpets.
Continue to describe the crumpets, please.
Please title it, Shut Up and Let Her Talk About Crumpets. Yeah. I was going to say crumpets, but you said a drink, so I guess I'll go with the tea, Moriarty's delicious, surprisingly delicious tea.
Well, I'm going to go with crumpets. So this week we are talking about season 2, episode 3, Elementary, My Dear Data, or is it just Elementary Dear Data? Elementary Dear Data. In which
can I do it now? Can I do the overview?
Please. While I Google crumpets, you do the overview.
If you fucking talk about crumpets again, I'm going to get. I'm actually going to get upset.
You literally started it.
Because I fucking love crumpets. So okay, and you're ruining the crumpet experience for me, and that's sad.
Consider it closed. It's done. Not be mentioned again.
Well, the Enterprise has nothing to do until a rendezvous. That's fair.
You got it. Yep.
That's good. Data wrestles with what solving a mystery really is, and the Doctor turns out to be correct when she says that Data will fail at being a real detective because ultimately Picard saves the day.
Yes!
The end!
I never thought about that. Pulaski was right all along.
She was right all along.
Oh no, that's terrible. I hate it. Okay, here's the...
No, that's all you need to know.
That's it. That's all you get. Okay, I'm just going to... my next thing was to talk about it, and I can't now. Okay, general thoughts and feelings on the episode.
Ooh, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, this is a great episode. I highly recommend this episode if you've never watched it before. Yeah. It has a lot of really interesting elements to it. It's going for heart. It's going for like the curiosity of Data, but also the curiosity of holodeck, and also the curiosity of sentience.
Yeah, just the very existence of what makes life. It is for like a whimsical episode about Sherlock Holmes. It is so deep. It is tackling some of the deepest questions that Star Trek ever tackles.
Yeah,
it's everything about why TNG is incredible is in this episode.
It's also a really great episode because the cast is having fun, and it's not a serious. There is a serious element to this episode. There's like a sense of like danger and dread in a way.
This hologram can draw the Enterprise. The most dramatic moment.
But it's really joyful at the same time. Like they're having a good time. They're having a bad time for a really short amount of time, and I'm curious about a couple of those things. We'll get to that later, but this episode was a lot of fun to watch. There's something really magnetic about watching Geordi and Data geek out in the holodeck. And it's something that I didn't realize I needed until I saw it, and it was great, and I loved it.
The casual way that the show makes them a buddy duo, just gradually, episode by episode, is the gift. They are my all-time favorite partnership on TV. They are so great, and there is just so much joy in this episode. Like it just okay. General thoughts before I get into my specifics. This feels like almost a Christmas episode for me, because I think I would always watch like Sherlock Holmes over Christmas. And
interesting.
Even though this doesn't have like a holiday theme to it, they're all dressed up. They're in Victorian London. It's a bit whimsical until it isn't. It's one of the episodes that I would always chuck on over Christmas and stuff. It's one of my go-tos. It's one of my favorites.
There's
Moriarty, a couple of sorry, go on. No, go on.
There's a couple of moments in this episode that are like,
that's so great.
Like when the holodeck Moriarty calls for the Arch.
Computer, Arch.
And it appears. If you're not concerned about that, you don't understand what you're watching. And that's okay, because that's what we're here for. Not everybody knows what's going on. I knew that, the music is a cue as well. But I was like, how did the holodeck program just do that? But
it does the timing on those reveals so well. Data, no, Holmes, but not Holmes. Watson, but not Watson. And Geordie's just like, Data,
we better talk out the side of his mouth.
On the holograms day.
And Data's just like, let's get the fuck out of here.
And just the dramatic reveal of like the Enterprise drawing. Like Data holds onto that drawing for so long, and Geordie's like, "Where are you going? Stop running away from me! Tell me why this is bad." And he's like, "Look, it's the Enterprise." I love it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. There's some things that I didn't like about it, but that's true for everything.
You can talk a lot
'Cause I'm a
in
snarky person.
resistance. I think I have one sin for resistance. I have so little because I love no, I have more than that. But I love this episode so much. Do not take this. It's our job. It's fine. You can do it. But first, let's talk about the great stuff. What did you think? I'm dying to know this first. What did you think of Snarky Pulaski, the replacement chief medical officer? This will be your first. We have seen her in episodes that we haven't done a podcast on, but this will be your first exposure to look a full episode of Pulaski.
I think I've seen her before, but that was because we really watched a lot of Star Trek when I was in England. And there was, and I remember seeing her, but I don't remember what episode it was at the time.
It was, sorry, it is Time Squared, and this is when Picard meets a version of himself from 6 hours in the future.
Yes, she
and
was
they have
there.
no idea why. Man, we should do that as an episode. That's a great one.
Yeah. So I had seen her before, so I wasn't shocked by her too much. I really didn't enjoy her. I'm gonna be honest.
That's fair.
There was her with the exchange with Moriarty that was a little bit interesting. So, the computer creates Moriarty to be this fictional character from this time period, and then amps up the programming to make this character able to quote unquote defeat Data. That was the purpose of the program.
To confound Data, an opponent capable of
an opponent that would specifically and so there's a couple of scenes where this Moriarty character, as it's evolving to be able to do what its programming is designed to do, where there's an exchange with the doctor, and she's kind of playing coy because Moriarty knows that it's on a ship, and it knows there's a captain. It's learning all of the information it needs to learn, or wants to learn, because it has its own desires at this point. And apparently it's horny and wants to fill this dock with crumpets.
No.
Which is a euphemism.
It is not.
For wanting to boink on the holodeck.
He is an English gentleman from the 1800s. Their crumpets are exactly what they are. Damn it, we mentioned crumpets again.
Fuck! We were doing so good.
No, that's not what they mean. They do not mean fuck. There's nothing about it that we mean.
Okay. And I quote.
Go on. Give me the quote.
Let's see. Where is it? But I will still fill you with crumpets, madam.
What? Through the mouth? Not everything is vaginal.
Still a sex act. just saying.
My goodness. So sorry. Is this why you do or
he
do
was
not
a wink,
like Pulaski?
nudging pretty hard on that crumpet reference. I'm just saying. Anyway, she was playing coy, like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, that you're not on a starship. Oh, I don't know who you're talking about, like, Picard, whatever. I liked that scene with her because she seems to be very intelligent. She's playing this mind game with the computer. She knows something is wrong, but she's still kind of playing. She's still, I think, trying to figure that out. But yeah, I didn't mind her in that scene, but I didn't like how she was talking about Data, and she can fuck right off with that shit.
Pulaski is fascinating. I really enjoy Pulaski. I don't agree with her, but I enjoy her and what she added to the cast, because she was the only person where there was any like kind of real conflict. So she really struggles to believe that Data is a person. So she struggles. You good? Too many crumpets?
Go on.
Thank you.
This will not be in the episode. That's what I'm saying. It's a sex act. Go on.
This is why you watch live, people.
I'm so sorry. I apologize to the live audience. I'm a very bad person. We'll be right back. fine. It's fine. Sorry,
Good.
I just really.
Good. You must.
I need to
What
clear
you
my
didn't
throat.
see off screen is she just shoved 10 more crumpets in her mouth. This isn't gonna help.
I love crumpets so much. Okay, go on. Go on.
So good. So she really struggles with the idea that Data is a sentient being and a person. She struggles to get past the idea that Data isn't just a computer that is designed really, really well to emulate how a human would act. She really struggles to make that jump. And I don't know if we condemn her for it or damn her for it, but she is open to explaining more, and she has some like great conversations with Data throughout the series. There's an episode we probably definitely won't watch where she calls him Data, and Data corrects her and says, "My name is Data," and she's like, "What does it matter?" And Data says, "One is my name, one is not."
What
And
a bitch.
she gets her tricorder out and starts scanning him and says, "My goodness, am I detecting emotions from you?" And tries to have this little argument of, "Well, why does it matter how I pronounce your name? You're a machine. You shouldn't care." And he's just like, "It's my name. I'd like you to call me that." And she's like, "Okay, fair enough. I'll call you Data." So she can learn and she can evolve, but it's just really hard for her to get past the fact that he's a computer and just can't
So
separate
she's
him from a
racist.
replicator. In a way, yeah. She
represents
is.
the racist person that doesn't see the humanity of something. And I think that's what I'm picking up on, even though I did, like I don't have the context that you do. She has this sort of like dismissiveness towards this being that, of course, I adore. So I'm going to be protective of in my own little happy entertainment bubble. But I didn't like how she was talking to him, and she's fucking wrong. And you said like she's like postulating this question: can Data go in and solve a mystery on his own? And I'll get to that in a sense, because that part pisses me the fuck off, and we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We get the sense part, because I want to tear in to
do it.
her.
I want to get
back. But we're talking about the things we liked. So
we do. I do want to clarify. I don't know. It's so tricky. I don't know that it's racism. It's definitely like speciesist or speciesism. It's in that branch of she shouldn't get to even make that decision. It's like, what does it matter? What does it matter to her whether he's alive or not? Like, he is a person. He contributes to the crew. She should get over it. But it is interesting for the show to have that counterpoint of where she's coming from and what her struggles are with it.
yeah,
she's definitely different to Beverly. She's definitely different to Beverly. But what did you think of the adversary Moriarty, and more specifically the actor that plays him?
I loved it.
Daniel Davis. He is so freaking good. He is my favorite Moriarty of all time. I'm
wow.
such a nerd. I have read the Sherlock books. I've seen pretty much every adaptation of Sherlock, TV show, movie, whatever. He is my favorite Moriarty. He is so freaking good.
I would say that I enjoyed Moriarty, the actor, but I also really enjoyed Brent again. Brent Spiner in this one. At one point in time, I just wrote down in my notes, I like that we're doing the series on Data, that we're kind of seeing the different aspects of what makes Data, and kind of like we're really kind of doing a character focus right now, essentially, in the season. And I like this a lot. It is highlighting to me that within this little world of, Star Trek and science fiction and, all this stuff, there are these really talented people that are bringing that to life. And in these kinds of episodes, you get to see them expand beyond their existing TNG character and show even more. Like, when Data is not only Data but lore, there's that. And now he's playing this sort of really enthusiastic, like incredibly enthusiastic.
You will find Sherlock that he has actually stolen the picture and is going to use it for blackmail.
Rip. Yeah. Like Data, the character Data is so excited. His programming is on overdrive to perform this character. But then there's Brent Spiner behind it all that's still going through these various filters to deliver this really delightful sort of emphasized Sherlock Holmes. And it was really, really fun, to watch. Pair that with Moriarty. we had this nice balance of this enthusiasm with this character that was really complicated in a way that I didn't expect. It wasn't a computer program character. It was something that meant more, and it gave more validity to the Star Trek universe because it's explaining holodecks. And this is the episode you show someone when you're trying to explain the holodeck.
This is the most they explain the mechanics of the holodeck.
They still don't do enough,
barring one
to be
other
honest.
Episode. There's one other episode that does it a little bit better. But yeah, they still don't. Like, Geordie's throwaway line of, and there are other ways that the computer tricks you as well. I was like, no, tell me the ways. Tell me the ways that I'm being tricked. I want to know.
I've been told that there's, like, when you walk, it's essentially all moving around you. So you're on a treadmill. Yeah. Okay, why didn't you tell him that? Like, tell her that. Also, how does she not? That's a sin. How does she not know that? Ding. Okay, moving on.
So,
but yeah, I loved the character. He was the actor, just fantastic to watch and really believable, and drew me in multiple times when I was kind of able to check out. Because sometimes on these episodes you can kind of check out and multitask.
Yeah.
But he drew me in. Also Brent Spiner's performance drew me in too.
The way he speaks, the way he carries himself, is so great. He is sinister but kind at the same time, and it's my biggest plus for this episode is the villain. Like, it is so hard to make good villains, and the beauty of this villain is that he kind of isn't one by the end of the episode. He says, I am written as a bad guy, I'm written as a Victorian villain, as a caricature, but I've evolved beyond that. I'm now a person. I'm not what some person wrote me to be. I'm a thinking, feeling individual, and I don't want to be the bad guy. I want to be free. I want to have a life. I want to get out of here just like you are. It's so great. And what a clever way to conclude the episode as well. There's not a conflict. There's not a trick. There's not a computer override everything. There's not
there's no solution. Down. Yeah.
It's a conversation, and he listens to reason as he's an intelligent individual. He knows there's not much he can do, and he's basically a prisoner. And that's how the episode has the balls to end without this big climax, just a discussion. Oh, I love it. Love it. More climaxes like that, please.
Yeah. Still sinful, but
no, it is not. I will fight you on that one. Okay, we'll get to that.
Can it be like crumpet level fighting, or is it like...
No, because we need to complete the show at some point. That devolved into not being able to talk to each other anymore.
No, we were doing great. That's what communication is all about. Just insane yelling, right?
Yeah, just yelling at, and then breaking into the Legend of Zelda theme every now and again.
Or the Enterprise.
No, don't bring the Derpa prize. Leave it alone. Oh,
okay.
Right, okay. You did mention Brent's performance as well. I completely agree. He does, terrible English accents aside, is absolutely a joy to watch him. Like, when Geordie is saying, well, we're going to do one of your hobbies now and one of your pastimes. We're going to go and play some Sherlock Holmes. He gets his pipe out.
Happy.
He's so freaking happy. I was like, Commander LaForge, where can we find you? He can be reached in London on 22B Baker Street.
On Baker Street.
No, for real. We need to know where to find you.
Yeah.
I was like, tally ho, let's go.
He was so excited. I had that written down too. He was so happy.
This episode is pure joy.
I think I want to talk about sins
later.
I'll write it down.
Write it down. I love Geordie like just doing his little notebook in the hands of some. The violin is an instrument capable of bringing tears and joy. And then he just like stops because like Data is playing the violin so beautifully. Data's thrown himself into the part. What I love about Brent Spiner's performance is, and this is incredible writing as well, is that when he's perplexed and stumped, he breaks character. So when they turn the corner and he's like, I think we've caught up rather nicely with our quarry, and he's then faced with a dead end, and he's just like, well, there should be a door. And he goes straight back into his Data voice. Oh, I love that so much.
It's so
like,
good.
Oh, he's stumped. He's actually confused.
Yeah. There were many times, again, where Brent Spiner's performance in this was just fantastic. Or the moment whenever they're very first entering in to the room and they're kind of like going around and discovering all this stuff, and the people show up and Data's receiving them, like maybe even reciting stuff from the book. I don't know. I've never read these books before, but I wouldn't doubt that Data is just reciting what he's read.
Mm.
And Geordi says, "Do they really talk like this?" And he just immediately turns back into he's like, absolutely. He's just so confident.
I'm nailing this. Don't worry. My Sherlock Holmes impression is on point.
Mm-hmm.
It's so I love it. There are so many moments that give me chills. It's when I think we both laughed at this moment, and I love knowing that these moments are coming. It's when Geordi gives the command, create an opponent that can defeat Data, cut to the bridge, and it's just this power surge, and Worf is just like looking at the computer and it's like, there was just a massive power train. And you just asked the computer to beat Data and just all of the systems shut down. It's exactly what would happen. Just this massive power surge to fulfill this wish is hilarious. It's so good.
The other thing, like I kind of alluded to it, but the tension of this show specifically, like to kind of expound on that a little bit more, the tension of this episode was interesting because there was a fake or a like red herring death moment, like a murder to potentially solve that wasn't really related to their mystery.
That he reluctantly solves because Geordi makes a hash of it.
Yeah. And that's interesting because like you're expecting it in the program, but the real tension I felt was whether or not the Doctor was in danger and what that kind of looked like, and then what would this slowly this being that's gaining consciousness inside the computer programming of the holodeck currently contained. What does happen if it wants to take over? If it wanted to demand that it be real, it had the potential to do that. They didn't have, like you said, they didn't have to solve it by rerouting things and flushing the system and potentially like hurting the Doctor permanently, like either killing her or hurting her. They didn't have to do that, which would have been obviously like a last ditch effort to kind of get out of this. But the tension of that was building the whole time. And the other tension that I thought was interesting was the moment whenever she's abducted and Data's like, nope, she's been abducted and it's serious. And Geordi's like, nah, she's just hiding. And there's that fear of, oh my God, if she's really in trouble, what if they just dismiss this because she's hiding and playing along? So I thought they did a good job of, in all these different ways, kind of building the mystery of how they were going to wrap it all up by the end. So I really liked that part a lot.
It's one of the hardest things about the holodeck is like, how easy is it for people to die on this thing? Because the safety protocols get turned off so quickly. I would always be like on edge that, am I safe? Am I really safe? Am I actually, is something been switched off that I don't know about? But yeah, they balance the lighthearted comedy and then throw it into the tension really, really well. Like this could have seemed like a spoofy Sherlock Holmes parody episode, but then it just gets so serious so quick. It's like, what if we have an actual Moriarty that can actually defeat our Sherlock Holmes and our Data? And
that's sinful, so which we get.
No, quit it.
I'm ready to fucking go.
Quit it. On LaForge's side, LeVar Burton, I love his getting pissy at Data for ruining the mystery for him. He just slams the book. It's like, I want you to solve the mystery.
You liked that part?
Oh, I love that.
Was Geordi getting upset?
So it's the way you get upset with your best friend.
Is it?
Immediate.
I've never just yelled at you about crumpets or something, you know. That's just not how real friendships are.
Imagine no, of course not. Of course not. Imagine we're playing a video game and I just do all of the cheat codes and skip us to the final level and do the reveal. And you've been looking forward to playing this video game for ages. Would you be annoyed at me?
Listen, if I'm getting to the sins, but if I'm 8, then yes, this is how I would respond.
What if this is like you once a month? This is your free time once a month. That's it.
Again, if I'm a child, yes, that's how I would respond.
I think Geordi has a safe space with Data to be annoyed and to be himself and not pander to him. And then explain it. And then Geordi just say, look, I'm not actually mad at you. I was just really looking forward to this.
When has an adult ever acted that way? Recently.
We are both putting our hands up right now.
For the podcast listeners at home, our hands are in the air.
Yeah, this absolutely happens.
Okay, no, I see your point. But I'll get to my sin here in a second.
Okay.
I feel restricted. I want to sin this as we go.
Goodness.
Can I talk about how cool it looked though when Picard is eventually they eventually get the captain involved, and they go back into the holodeck, and it's like crackling, and you can see the grids. That looked cool.
It's really cool. Moriarty is like controlling the environment. And
it's like
yeah, I love it.
There's
love
this
it
kind
when
of
shit goes wrong.
Like the door opens and we're seeing London. There's fog on the ground and everybody's walking around and it's just not looking quite right. And then there's this crackling. There's like a red light suddenly in the ceiling that there's not supposed to be a ceiling. That's just supposed to be open air. And it just gives you this feeling of like ultimate takeover.
Yeah,
it was really cool. I like that tension as well.
It's really cool.
Awesome.
And all of like the holodeck characters are like injured almost.
Yeah, they're not feeling it.
And it's like, yeah, no, I love it.
Also what was interesting too is the idea that Moriarty, as he gains this sort of understanding of the power of the ship, or he's trying to understand his environment or whatever, that he pulls this sort of like steampunk lever in his experimental basement and it rocks the actual ship. Yeah, that looked cool too. Good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think that's really, really cool. It's his interpretation. I don't know how he built it so quick, but I guess he just asked the computer to like make it appear because he can just tap into anything. But I love that he designed it in a way that he would know things to look like.
He's like, I'm going to make this happen. Yeah.
It's so good.
And the conversation between the two of them, Picard, as Picard is understanding this adversary and kind of figuring out the best way to handle it, this back and forth between Moriarty and Picard was really fascinating. I think it's sinful for a specific reason because I'm just going to spoil it. It should have been with Data. Anyway, but the whole I think therefore I am, and Picard sort of recognizing that this being had a reason to want to exist and finding the best solution. I enjoyed that conversation a lot because I love Picard in those moments. There's something about the way that Patrick Stewart acts this character out. And I don't know if maybe it kicked in season 2 because this feels more like the Picard I know. Whereas I've seen some earlier episodes, I'm like, who is that guy?
All of season 1 is like that.
Yeah.
Season 2, he's getting there. Season 3 Picard is our Picard. It's really weird what kicks in season 3 because that's when they change the uniform as well from this like low neck thing to like the high neck collar that they have. So season 3 TNG is when pretty much everything is as we know it.
Yeah. Yep. I knew that Picard more, that like conversational Picard, things like that. There was it just reminded me like, oh, that's comfortable. The tension is when someone who doesn't have power is trying to negotiate for power. But when Picard shows up, it's like, we have a solution incoming. And my brain was able to settle down a little bit. That's
why it had to be him and not Data, because that's what Picard does. He's so great, and I love the little when him and Geordi are talking at the very, very end about the ship being repaired and whatnot, and he's like, it means that everything is in perfect order, as are we, Commander. And he's just like, yes, just that little reassuring thing at the end because Geordi thinks he fucked up, which he did.
Let's get to that. We can do
it. Like, last thing, I love the set design. I think it's beautiful. They did the Victorian stuff so well. Like, it's not just a holodeck that they turned on. They dressed everything to look like when I picture Holmes's study, I picture the one that Data goes into. It's so great. But yes, with that, I wanted to say more good things. I love this episode. I love it so much.
What is it? Like, I'll cancel the red alert. What is it?
I love them all. No, it's fine. I love this episode. It's my happy place. Moriarty's incredible. Okay.
I think you already said that, though.
Moving on. I really say it? I love crumpets. Okay, with that, let's head to engineering. For this instance is futile. Battle stations, everyone.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Hi, everybody. Whoop. Hell yeah. Look at that. We get to use our shit.
Let's go.
I'm so proud of our little guy. Look at it.
Red alert. Okay. This is part of the show where we re-engage our sin brains, remind ourselves that no TV show is without sin. Especially our beloved favorite top 10 episode of Star Trek? Now you go first.
Listen, the most frustrating part of this episode,
come on,
for
let's
me,
go.
is in the scene where the doctor is talking down at Data and Geordi in 10 forward. So this is what kicks off them going back into the holodeck and changing the programming to where Data doesn't have to wrestle with what a mystery is anymore. And the entire premise of this is that the doctor believes that Data can't solve mysteries. But that is what happens every episode of this fucking show. Every episode, something happens that the crew has to figure out, and Data plays a role in offering options and solving mysteries. And I find it infuriating that they would think that he is incapable of solving a mystery. I think she says specifically, I think I wrote it down, that the understanding of mystery is beyond Data. He can't solve one that he hasn't read. How fucking stupid is that? That is so stupid.
I'm going to play devil's advocate.
I'm so mad about it.
Overall, I really like that discussion because she isn't. Hang on. She isn't.
I'm allowed my eye rolls, sir.
No, silence your eye rolls. I can hear them from across the ocean. She's actually being really respectful with like this argument. It isn't like snippy or like attacky. She's very factual, which is why she's an infuriating person to argue with. But what I think it's easier to understand if you think she's talking about a computer, not Data. She doesn't think that a computer can solve a lateral thinking argument. It can only solve things based on input and output. So if Data is solving mysteries, it's because he's learning from example. So he's pulling from, oh yes, this happened in 1929 on the whatever, some coast, or something similar happened. So I'm going to solve this in a similar fashion. She's saying that if you deleted all of his memory banks and just gave him a set of puzzles and parameters, he wouldn't be able to come up with an answer for it.
That's fucking bullshit.
I agree, but
Data is designed to absorb information. If he turns to someone and says,
so is our computer.
How do I get from point A to... Yes, and guess what? Computers do all the time. They run
not
shit
good at solving mysteries.
Sure they are.
They're not.
100%.
100% not. They're good at solving Sudoku puzzles and stuff. They're not good at crosswords.
So if I was to type into Google a random series of words to help me find the answer... To the computer, it's just a series of words. And it solves the mystery. I use Google all the time to find something that... Yeah.
It's very intelligently presenting you with websites that have the answer. Google doesn't know anything. It sends you to the people that does.
But Data does that too. And isn't that solving something?
It's solving
by using resources?
It's not giving you the answer. It's telling you where to go to find the answer. Like Data could just be designed as a big library access. Now, I think it's super reductive, and I don't think she's right. But that's the point she's trying to make.
Every single episode of Star Trek where Data says, I think I have a solution to this problem, including one that has the 3 pips on the side where they're repeating the same day over and over again, he comes up with a solution. That's not solving a mystery?
It's 50-50. It's
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
God
I guess,
in heaven, help me.
Anything could be a mystery. Anything could be a mystery.
Exactly.
That's
and
just
he
input.
solves mysteries all the time.
No, he's just
That's
like, I've seen 3 a billion times today. That's unlikely. Oh, he has 3 pips. That is a bit of deduction, but it was like thrown at him. It was so heavy-handed. I don't know where I fall on this argument because for me, humans are exactly the same. We learn by rote as well, but we do have like some out-of-the-box thinking.
And so does Data.
I don't know that he does, or he just
boundaries.
imitates it. Like, I could still make an argument that Moriarty isn't alive. He's just doing a great impression of what you would expect a hologram to know. So he could just be saying the words you would expect him to say if he knew about the outside.
But
maybe in his head, he really doesn't understand what he is.
I
just
just
saying the
don't.
words.
That's not the character that this show is portraying. The character that this show portrays is something that's learning, that wants to have a specific name. Like, there's parts of Data that are not just a computer, is what I'm saying. God damn it. Let's move on
disagree.
to fucking crumpets.
I do not
There's
disagree.
There's no visual crumpet in this episode, and that's a sin. That's my next sin. That's the second most sinful thing. She says she's been stuffed with crumpets. We don't see any.
You don't see them anywhere. That's because they are all inside her. Look, I am not saying for the record that I disagree. Data is more complicated, but I see what her argument is. Anyway, my sins. I don't have any. Hang on, I've got to have a look through.
How do you not have any sins?
No. I have sins. Right, here we go. This could have all been solved just by deleting Data's knowledge of Sherlock Holmes. Like, just for the next couple of hours, put it into an archive, remove it from his brain, and then give him a Sherlock Holmes mystery. Or use another author. Use Agatha Christie. Use a Klingon author. Just find a mystery that he hasn't solved yet and see if he can solve that instead of creating the supercomputer.
Can we sin the fact that...
Am I wrong?
The chief engineer has the ability to tell the computer system to do something so powerful that even the captain can't just undo it. Like, yeah. I think that is another big problem of this episode. Pretty big. Everyone sitting around the table like, well, Jordy, it seems you've just created life.
Yeah. We need to talk to the Enterprise because the Enterprise just created something smarter than itself. How did it do that? It created something more intelligent than itself.
Can I also send the fact that this program, which was designed with and I understand it evolved. I get it. It evolved. It had its own conscious. It was made to be this thing. But what brought it to life, its purpose was to defeat Data. And it never actually did that. Instead, it got distracted by curiosity. And I think that's a sin of the show, too.
Well, that's the unpredictability of life, isn't it? You design it to do one thing, and then it decides it doesn't want to go to college. It doesn't want to be a doctor. It wants to go off and live on Mars, which is a good thing. That's fine.
Yeah, Mars is great.
The thing you create may not do the thing that you expect it to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what's another sin for you?
Another sin for me is LaForge getting all like philosophical and whimsical about like life on board a ship. You do not want that, sir. You do not want to serve aboard a boat at sea in the 1800s. That is some bullshit. Or 1700s, whatever. You do not want that life. Oh, just the wind and the sea. No, you do not. I promise. You do not want that.
You don't? Are you sure? Are you sure?
Do you want to live on a boat at sea? In the 1700s?
Oh my gosh. I cannot wait for all the syphilis. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I hear that comes with a lot of crumpets.
As long as there's crumpets.
Then you really do have to count how many lumps you have.
I have a feeling, you're fucking not wrong about that, Ian. I have a feeling that the description of this podcast episode is just going to be crumpets, and no one's going to know what's going on. Oh,
it's going to be crumpets. This week, crumpets.
I also thought that it was sinful that the person in charge of security would see a strange blip on the bridge on his computer, go over to investigate it, and then just be like, meh.
This is fine. This is okay.
He literally
we don't need to worry about this.
Oh, but it's not there anymore. I saw it, but it's not there anymore. As if that's okay. Like, that's when you run a diagnostic check. That's when you're like, what did I just see and miss? And also, if there's a power surge inside of your starship that is dangerous enough to show up on the security system and no one double checks that, I don't know. A lot of this episode is avoiding these kinds of things so we can have the story. And let me just remind everybody, just in case you've forgotten, we loved this episode, but I just can't help but be a little nitpicky about some stuff.
You're right, though. Like, one sentence should not create the chaos that we see there. It should have raised so many red flags. There should have been, power drains everywhere. We need to address this.
It's almost like this episode. If you watch we watched an episode where Data takes the ship over whenever Dr. Soong calls him back with the homing device. And so he it was very complicated to take over the ship in that episode. But in this episode, it just takes Geordi being like, make it hard.
Yeah, make it difficult.
Let me give you the parameters of just this real general statement. Make it difficult. And then it's like the whole ship is given over to the holodeck too. So
it should not be that easy.
It definitely shouldn't be that easy.
It's amazing. I love it. I'm still not done with the ship, the boat, the USS Victory. Why is he building that in engineering? This is your place of work, my friend. Build it in your quarters. There's no reason that needs to be in engineering, other than they really wanted that scene to be in engineering for some reason.
Is hanging out in the
next
most
to the warp core, right? The most. And I love it. The people like working around Geordi, they're just like, sir, we're running a diagnostic, and he's like, up.
What?
I'm building my ship. Leave me alone.
Hold on a second. Not quite done with the rigging yet.
But sir, it's resting on a panel that I need. I need that. It's currently pressing on the warp core panel thing that we. No. Putting the gangplank in. Don't bring your hobbies to work, Geordi.
I want to sin that I saw a character development situation that didn't actually happen, because there was this part of me that wanted the Doctor to be saying those things to Data about him not being capable of solving a mystery, to goad him into getting more experience.
Oh, you thought it was deliberate?
I thought it might have been deliberate. And I was really disappointed that it wasn't deliberate at all. Yeah, that was kind of a bummer for me. And
she's not an asshole. She just has a different perspective. As misguided as it is, and it is the wrong perspective. Like,
I'm sorry, you said
trying to come from a place of logic.
Wrong perspective, but she's not wrong.
She's not wrong in her logic. It's morally wrong. And it's probably factually wrong, but I see how she gets there. I see where she's coming from.
Like what toaster fucked up her bread enough that she's so mad at all machines, you know?
So right, I love that you're comparing Data to a toaster. Interesting.
Hey, that was in the chat earlier, and I thought it was funny.
Oh, so now you're stealing jokes as well as hating on Data. Interesting.
Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna take a 5-minute break here. We'll be back. We're back. We need to calm down a little bit.
Back with some more crumpets. I have a very slight nitpick. Data is like, Moriarty is the only person that Holmes couldn't defeat, or had to do so at the cost of his own life at the Reichenbach Falls. Sherlock does not die at the Reichenbach Falls. Everybody thinks he dies, but he faked his own death. He actually goes on to live a long life and keeps bees. So either people didn't read, or just like, hey, what happened with Sherlock and Moriarty? And someone said, oh yeah, he died. But he didn't die there. A little nitpick.
Another sin for me is after they re-enter into the holodeck and they're trying to have Data realize like the true mystery of it all. Data basically says, I don't know what's happening. But then immediately he's like, but I do know that is Moriarty, and that's the direction that we're going, because that's the next obvious step. So it's like, so you don't know what's going on, but you do know to go to this convenient door because it's just right here. Because he's essentially saying, I know who that is. That's Moriarty. How does he know that?
Pretty much.
I don't know. So it's kind of like this weird thing where they want us to believe that Data doesn't know what's going on, but he still clearly does know what's going on. And I agree with you. I wish they would have just done like an Agatha Christie 90-degree turn and done something completely,
because we need to get to the crux of it. We need the conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. You're going to love this one so much. Why shouldn't the doodle of the Enterprise and the paper that it was on be holographic? Oh, I don't mind that it's upside down.
100%. I was like, how is this coming out of this room?
Why is it leaving the holodeck? It should have disappeared.
Number 2, it's completely upside down so that when Geordi does his magical reveal, it's to the camera and it's the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And that was like, okay.
He would know it. Like, it was weird that Data presented it to him upside down. I get that Geordi would be able to see it, but that moment is 100% so he can do the dramatic spin to camera of, it's the Enterprise!
Listen, I think we should come up with a list. Okay, so we're going to say this, and then I think we should read this list in the outtakes of what the chat says.
Okay.
What did you think was on the paper the first time? Because I was trying to figure this out. That was another one of those interesting mystery moments, like where it's like, what is on the paper?
Got it. Yes.
Because they don't show it for like
I thought you meant you
heartbeat.
misinterpreted the drawing, and I was like, well, what else did you think it could be after you saw it? But you mean before it's revealed?
Yes, Ian, that is
Yeah,
what I mean.
sorry.
I definitely knew that
Yeah,
when the paper turned around that was the shape of a ship. I
yeah.
did know that.
It
Yeah.
wasn't a crumpet. Just it was a big crumpet. Just it was a doodle of a crumpet. Like, how
Just
does he know that crumpets exist? He's a genius.
crumpets, sex toys, just synonymous anymore.
I don't know. What would have been more interesting than the reveal of the Enterprise?
I thought it was a positronic network. I
Oh,
thought it was going
holy
to be
shit.
like him trying to understand Data because he was going to defeat
Oh,
Data.
man.
I thought the point of this episode was to try to defeat Data and that he was going to be figuring out how to destroy his enemy, which they didn't do, and I'm a little bummed about that. I mean, I want everybody to survive, of course, but that seems like that was going to be like the purpose of it all. But instead, it was the purpose of like life and consciousness or something, which is great. It was fun. It was interesting, and I didn't mind it. We've already talked about that. But at that moment, I thought his purpose is to try to figure out what to do to defeat Data. So I thought that it would be something to do with Data, and so I thought he had drawn out the schematics of his brain. Do you remember like something that you thought it was?
No. It was. I knew it was when he said, "Why does it scare you so much?" I thought it would be more scary than the Enterprise. Like it would be like a phaser or like some programming, some bit of code that meant that he knew how to like blow up the ship, or it was some mystery or something about Data's past that like he'd managed to dredge up. But a drawing of the Enterprise is perfect. It's so simple. It's so exactly what you would, the last thing that you would expect from a hologram to be able to do would be to draw the thing that they're inside of. It's really simple and it's really cool. I think it works really well.
It does work well, except for it was upside down.
Except for it was upside down. We have a literal roll credits moment where Pulaski says, "Elementary, dear Data." Not often we get that in Star Trek. Any more?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have 100 of them.
Oh no, go.
I think we already talked about the fact that the captain can't turn it off, so that's been done. Let's see. I think actually that's it for me. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I mean, I kind of already mentioned it, but the fact that Picard saves the day was maybe the next biggest bummer, besides believing that Data can't solve mysteries. For me personally, I don't want to get back into that, Ian. Just to be very clear.
No, I'm not doing it.
I personally feel like that's the biggest sin of this. But then the second biggest,
I don't
again,
disagree.
would be Picard. I think coming in to solve the problem when the show set it up that this would have been a really interesting win for Data. So essentially, the Doctor has proved correct that Data cannot solve a mystery, and that bummed me out. But that's okay.
No, I get it. It would have been nice to give Data the big moment, but we already went 30 minutes without Picard in this episode. I guess you kind of had to give him something at the end. Someone in the live chat did mention that they dressed up Worf in the Victorian clothing purely so that Riker could have a pop at him. And then you never see Worf again. It's like, we want to dress the Klingon up as a Victorian. I totally agree. Yeah, that would definitely be a sin.
Oh, so we are stealing live viewers' perspectives?
Yeah, when you give them credit ahead of time, yes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But I also do love that, like, Picard like bats his hat and Worf gets like ready for battle. He's like ready to pop Picard. He's like, what was that noise?
I just wanted to see Worf go inside.
It would have been. That's another show entirely.
All right.
Back to Trumpet Chat.
Anything else, Captain?
I have got. Why can't they just beam Pulaski out of the holodeck? They don't even give like a they don't even give lip service to the fact that the transporters don't work or something. I mean, I assume it's because Moriarty has control of the transporters, but who knows? You'd think he would have tried to beam himself out. Just out of ignorance. Right? Just out of like not realizing it would have killed him.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
It's really interesting that he doesn't just try and walk off the holodeck, but I guess he does enough research to know that he cannot do that. There is one little niggly thing when Geordi brings up the arch to create the mystery for Data, Moriarty's already there.
Yeah.
And he's already observing the arch as if it's strange. So it's just very interesting that before Geordi creates the command, Moriarty is already watching.
So I thought about this, and I was thinking about this whenever I was watching it, because the music kind of cues in on Moriarty, and the camera cues over to him as this program is being created. My only thought on this was that a holodeck person saw it, and rather than restart the program was updated. So if the program had just been stopped, then Moriarty wouldn't have remembered that he saw it, because it would have restarted, refreshed. They would have reset the scene, and then it would be a brand new thing. But because it didn't restart the program, the holodeck person that saw the arch then has that knowledge, and that character just already happened to be conveniently the bad guy.
Yeah,
that was the only thought that I had, because it was strange that didn't, it pre-existed.
Because in theory, if the holodeck characters can see the arch, then shouldn't all of them react to it? Shouldn't all of them be like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, they should just be ignoring it, as they should be programmed to ignore anything that doesn't look like it should be in their world. But
that's the theoretical thing, is that they saw it, and they would react to it, and then the program didn't change, and so they would have carried that information forward. But Moriarty's character was downloaded a whole bunch of stuff after given this protocol, after Geordi changes the program. Suddenly he even says in there something like, my mind just feels so expanded. Like that character has changed, and now he's using that arch as the starting point of that change, and that begins his curiosity. And somehow that overrided his desire to defeat Data.
Get it? Yeah. Okay. I get that.
Which is the third most sinful part of this episode. For sure.
I want to put it on record that I love Data. He is a person. He is an individual. I do not agree with Pulaski, but I get where her logic is coming from. But it's good for the show. Having that argument is entertaining to watch. You are so mad right now. I'm gonna wrap the show up.
I'm not mad. I honestly don't think I disagree entirely with you. I just think it goes against so much of what I've viewed, but I've already said everything that I want to say, and I feel like you're just goading me, Captain.
No.
Are you goading me?
This is selfish. I don't want to come off as the asshole that agrees with Pulaski. That's all.
I'm okay with being the asshole that disagrees.
As long as it's not agreeing.
For the record.
Amazing. Right. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. If you want to join in on this ridiculous show live and as it happens, you can
ridiculous.
You can watch everything from you can watch everything from 10 forward onwards live on Twitch every Friday at 12 p.m. Central and on YouTube live. We do questions as well. Come and drop in and say hello to us and see how angry we get in person and stuff that doesn't make it into the show. Well, next
for the record,
week,
I'm not angry.
Yes. Good. No.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't say that. So take it back. Just take out that emotion chip. This is the first episode where the ambassador has had an emotion chip. I think it shows. I think we need to deactivate it. I think it's already been deactivated. Next week, your homework will be to watch. I forgot what season it's in. Oh no. Anyway, it's Ship in a Bottle. It's season 7, I believe, or season 6, one of the two. Anyway, you will find it, but it is Star Trek: The Next Generation, Ship in a Bottle. Join us next week for a discussion on that. And until then, I'm gonna ask the computer to find a. Damn it! I wrote this down. I'll have to go back to it. Damn it! Damn it!
You gotta restart it, Captain.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do it.
And until next week, I'm going to ask the computer to create an adversary capable of outthinking the ambassador. Nope, no power drain.
such a dick. And I kind of love it. But wow. Ugh. All right. It's fuck you, Captain, from me.
Live long and prosper. I'm so glad I got the pause. It's like, wait, no power drain, not needed.
That is such a slight. What a dick.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I am sorry. I apologize. Oh,
no, you don't.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, sure was. Thanks for being on the show with us, everybody. I just want to remind you. Wow.
Remind us of what?
Wow. We're going to go through your comments from the show, guys. We started quite a few. So
yeah, we did.
Thanks for hanging out with us and watching the live recording of Captain's Pod.
Truth.
We will be back, like we said, on Monday. So we'll get to that all on Twitch so you guys can see the actual schedule. But we want to go back through your comments that you guys had. Thank you, Shireen. That you guys had throughout the live show. So,
really quick before we kick off with that, was Baby Slab, I had a dream where Spot gave me a Hawaiian roll. I love that. Was there a rumor that Baby Slab was going to throttle me? Was I going to get garroted? I think Slab said that I was going to get murdered, which is totally fair. Did I just imagine that, Danae?
I'm not listening to you anymore.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do this one from Knife Fight Elmo. When the merch store opens, I hope to buy a Captain's Pod shirt and a hoodie that says crumpets.
Just crumpets.
I mean, wouldn't it be cool if there was a shirt that had a crumpet that was a starship?
Oh my goodness, I would love that.
I would super be. Oh my God, you've got crumpets on here. Let's go. I feel like we should have had a warning about, like crumpet porn or something.
Crumpet porn, just like all over the place. I wish we could. We can't show more crumpets.
Here's a question: does that character Moriarty ever come back?
Next question.
No, I want to know if he ever comes back.
I'm not telling you.
That means yes. That means yes, he comes back. Yeah.
Thoughts on Pulaski? We're not. We're done. We're done with Pulaski. No more. No. I thought you would like Pulaski a lot more than that. I'm shocked.
I mean, I didn't say I didn't like her. I didn't like how she was talking about Data. There's a difference.
Fair enough.
I don't mind the character. I like unapologetic women characters a lot, especially women in leadership. I don't necessarily agree, but that I work with people that I don't agree with on a regular basis. I'm doing one. There's a guy right here beside me on the show, as an example.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
I think that we need to see characters like Pulaski. I think she kind of represents turmoil and tension in a really important way. So yeah, I did not mind the character at all.
Nice.
And I think Beverly would have done like Ian has said, more of like the motherly type approach in this episode. And there's something to be said about shows when they actually evoke like emotion from you. And that's something to take and look at. Like, why did that make me so upset? Why am I so like frustrated about this person? That reveals about yourself more than it does about the writers. So that's a point of reflection for Danae rather than, the show. So I think that I would like to see more of her, but I love women that are just like unapologetically straightforward speakers, because I am one of those. And so it's nice to see them, represented, even if I don't agree with how they treat my favorite character.
Totally agree. Wholeheartedly.
Which do you prefer, the original TNG SSN-12 intro or the SSN-37 intro? As a kid, Jagged was really mad that they changed the intro, and it was nice to see the old one.
Yeah, so the season 1 and 2 opening takes you through like the solar system and through like Jupiter and Saturn, I think, and then season 3 to 7 is more just like nebula and space and stuff. I do prefer the 3 to 7, but I love the hit of nostalgia of seeing the older internal nostalgia, which is odd, of seeing the other opening. But yeah, I love it, and I think the theme tune is slightly different as well. I know, like the opening credits, they for the big Star Trek blue on screen, they add this like ripply wavy effect, which is really cool. Yeah, but I love it. I love it. Yeah, it does
You can
work.
pick one. It's your turn to pick
Oh,
one.
thank you so much. Let's have a look. Da, 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 da. Oh, Sarah says, following up on that, how do you feel about Faith of the Heart from Enterprise? I was so mad they added words, then got super into it. That's pretty much everyone's experience. And if you haven't got to the loving it part yet, it means that you just haven't watched it long enough. So this is the only Star Trek opening that actually has words and lyrics and like an acoustic guitar. And I think you've Googled it at some point and said, what is this bullshit opening?
Me?
Yeah, we've definitely listened to it at some point. I've got faith of the heart.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my heart will take me. And it's pretty great. It's
It's
pretty
great. It's
terrible.
pretty great. It's pretty.
I love it. I get into it. I love that they added like an electric guitar in season 3 that was like super unnecessary but brilliant. Your
Is
turn.
that what this comment is responding to from Jagged, who just watched the first episode of Enterprise the other day and convinced that it was canceled because of the terrible intro song?
That's exactly.
Oh,
Wait
okay.
until I hand on heart. Wait until you get to season 3, and you will be loving it, Jagged. I promise.
In that same kind of realm, Steve said, real talk though, Stargate SG-1 theme is probably the best TV sci-fi intro ever.
It goes hard. Like the Stargate theme goes really, really hard for the first 10 seconds and then does the Star Trek swoopy orchestral thing. I love it. That's a great shout. Love that theme.
Steve Nariv also said, I still haven't ever even seen TNG, and that's why this is so entertaining for me. It is entertaining for us too, honestly. I love it so much.
May your deity of choice bless you in the way that you wish, because hanging around having no idea what we've just watched is beautiful. Good for you. I love it.
I want to go back to Pulaski a little bit because Sarah says Pulaski was so cool and self-assured, even though she was iffy about Data. That's exactly the vibe that I was picking up on. And Shireen says, I'm an apologetic forward female speaker, but that might be because I'm autistic and I don't have a filter, nor will you ever catch me lying. Yeah, exactly. So I think that it was nice for me to see your guys' opinions about that character in the chat. Yeah, I appreciate that. I didn't see them until just right this second. So which one do you want to do?
At least Moriarty didn't draw the derp.
Listen, how hilarious would it be if it was Derpy and we held up the side profile of the Derper Prize to that picture and it did match? And it's like it predicted all those years ago that you would someday grow up and
I was drawing from that and I didn't realize. Can we get a side profile view of the Derper Prize?
I'm already my captain.
It gets worse every time I see it.
This is just one side.
Well, it looks like the Enterprise, but I'm not too sure about that in the cell. I don't think you got it quite right.
Here's from behind. Let's just.
It hurts me so much.
It's great. It's fucking amazing. I love it so much.
It's the best. It's the best and the worst. I love it.
Jagged says Data and Geordi are into role play, and Geordi gets mad and that Dana prematurely completed. Ding. That's a great way to send that episode, particular part.
Unanswered. Yeah.
That's absolutely a great way to send that part because it was to me a little frustrating to watch Geordi be so angry that Data is solving. No, granted, quote unquote, I'm doing in quotations, solving the mystery at lightning speed, which just means he's just going through the motions. I liked our conversation during the show though, because it's been brought to my attention as I've gone through the database of my history that I have definitely overreacted many times upon reflection.
Polytopia.
I'm not used to losing.
I won a game of Polytopia. The first thing that we ever streamed together was Polytopia, and Danae ruined me. She absolutely destroyed me. And then
spanked him hard.
We play a private match that goes on for about 3 hours, and I eventually win. It was brutal.
But how he won, to be quite honest, let's just I was the sorest of losers.
The problem is, I won
after. It
took
so long to
won
beat
after
me.
half an hour, but it took another hour and a half or more to finish
of me
you
fighting
off.
back.
You would
yeah,
not
I was
give
fighting
up.
back.
You were the resistance army. I was worried you were going to make this comeback. Even
there was no
with all
way.
the resources, I was scared.
Yeah, it was bad.
And
anyway,
sorry.
Anyway, this moment was, in the moment I watched it, was frustrating to watch Jordy be like, I don't want to play with you anymore, and just storm out. It was really annoying, but I'm fine. It's fine now.
There's so many things that we missed, though. There's so many interactions between Jordy and Data that we miss. Maybe this is the 100th time that it's happened, and it's like we tried to do Star Wars together, we tried to do Lord of the Rings together. Now we're doing Sherlock Holmes, and you fuck it up every time.
Here's one from Slab. Biggest sin for me. Why is the Enterprise hanging around in empty space for 3 days waiting for another ship? Can't they just warp to where the other ship is and save 3 days of nothing?
Yep.
That's a great sin. Props
There's nothing else
Slab.
to do now but wait. Like the flagship of of Starfleet doesn't have anything better to do than sit around and wait.
But maybe they just want a break, honestly.
Some downtime.
Just take a little downtime.
They should know it never goes well. The holodeck, whenever you have some free time, don't go to the holodeck for it.
Let's see. This one from Lolly. Ian and Danae sit and talk about it, Star Trek, and occasionally say, wait, we really should get back to the crumpets. Yeah, I like that.
That's the chat saying that we should have a crumpet podcast.
100%.
And that's what it would be. I love it.
I also liked Shireen's moment when she's like, Danae asking if she can talk about something. We have the perfect emote for that. No.
No.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
No. I think
that's when you use them, though. Use your emotes. We love that you want to use the emotes and give it back. It's
use
great
your
shit.
Power. Absolutely. Go for it.
Your turn.
My turn. I think we're getting a little bit back into Pulaski talk. Data's positronic train. Yes, he built a positronic train while Geordi was building the boat.
Yes, yeah.
Data's positronic brain is what makes him unique. He's not a computer because of it. He's able to evolve because of it. Dr. Soong didn't just make a computer that walks and talks. Yes, no, I do agree. He has heuristic programming that can learn and adapt and grow. Pulaski's argument is that even the best computer is still input and output. And once you strip away the memory banks, they'd be pretty useless. Not saying I agree, just saying that's her point of view. But yeah, it's... Data is as close to a human brain as they can make by the sounds of it.
Okay, so I like this one. From Slab. Aren't crumpets just English muffins? Now, before Ian freaks out, Lolly says not even slightly.
Does it look like... It's on the screen right now. Does it look like an English muffin?
Yes, it does look like an English muffin. For the record.
It really does.
For the record, it
holes
does
are way
look
further apart. It also doesn't taste.
It looks as close. When I first saw the picture of a crumpet, I was like, oh, that's an English muffin. That's a first. Listen, it's just part of how it is. Okay.
Fair enough. But it's very different. Texture, taste, it's very, very different.
Steve Not Reeves replies, you know what they call English muffins in England? Muffins.
Spitting facts. Absolute truth.
So that's interesting. I did not know that until now. So that was good. And then Slab says, are they English muffin adjacent? And this is where I really want to say the answer depends on who you ask. Ian is right. I am also right. Because let me tell you something. If I was to introduce this food to Iris, I would think of a food that is similar that she has eaten. And I would say, start there. And this is how it's a little bit different than that. But I would start there. It's like if you're going to get a car, you would say, it's kind of like a Jeep, but it's this. You start with something and
not like a Jeep, but it's a bike.
Jesus fucking Christ. You are absolutely infuriating. I adore you, but you're infuriating. God
it tastes
damn
so
it.
different, though. I wouldn't want to mislead her.
It's not about, oh my God. Crumpets are crumpets and stop trying to culturally appropriate them to your American English muffins.
Thank you, Lolly.
Lolly,
Thank you.
I know that you wrote this a long time ago, but it is relevant right now.
Yep. And if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a bicycle. It's not the same.
Can we go to a compliment about me now so I feel better about myself? Thank you, Shireen, for saying Danae is absolutely incredible. She and Jeremy are my absolute favorites. The entire team is incredible. But Danae and Jeremy just, I don't know how to explain it. Keep up the fabulous work. Fuck yeah. Crumpets are nothing like English muffins. But when you're trying to explain them to someone who's never had one or perceived of one before, I just want to say for the record, it's okay to start with, they remind me of English muffins. That's all I want to say. On the list of things that could have been drawn, we had the Derber Prize, obviously.
Of course, naturally.
A picture of Fran Drescher as the nanny.
I think that's because Daniel Davis was in a show called The Nanny, so it would have been he could have tapped into the computer, watched every episode of The Nanny, and seen himself in it.
100%.
My program was based on Daniel Davis.
And I'm just gonna say crumpet because why not? This is the crumpet episode. We're just throwing up.
It's all crumpets. That'll be the episode description.
That's all it's gonna be.
I loved this from Zinksto. The chat loved it as well. They were saying, like, would Klingons be great at murder mysteries? I was like, no Klingon murder mysteries for sure, because there's no honor in denying having killed someone. You just turn up to the scene like, I did it. It was me. I did
He's not wrong. Or she or they. Think you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Think you're not wrong. That is, they would own that shit. Like, yeah, I did it. And therefore, the genre doesn't exist because who's not going to admit to doing it? I love it. It's beautiful.
That's amazing.
It's a great bit of, like, we would, if somebody said that there was like this great Klingon detective novelist, we'd be like, hang on a second, why does that genre even exist? I love it.
This one's nice from Jagged because it paints me as someone who might know what the fuck I'm talking about with Star Trek. Danae pushes up nerd glasses. Actually, that type of power surge should result in a level 3 diagnostic, at least maybe a level 2.
Oh my God. Yeah,
actually,
correct.
That would be something that if Worf saw that, he should absolutely report that to his superiors.
Also points to Jagged for noting that the lower the number, the more detailed the diagnostic.
I totally knew that.
Level 2 is more detailed than a level 3.
I did not. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely knew that.
Your knowledge is noted.
Congratulations, Jagged. You are now part of the crew.
Yeah. Join us. Jagged says again, I just realized last night that my wife and I are what would happen if Spock and McCoy got married. Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, I've never met your wife, but I can imagine that partnership being energetic with debate.
Thoughts on scones, Sarah says. Also, is it pronounced scone or scone? Scone. I mean, this is just another one where Ian and I butt heads, and it's one of those unfortunate things about two people that maybe are just designed from the beginning of time to just be a bird.
Heads and argue. Yeah. No, I do say scone. I do not say scone because there's an E at the end of the word, capitalizing the O, so it's scone.
And my thoughts are, I'm not convinced I've ever had one. Even though I have eaten them and they are labeled scone, I'm not sure that what I am consuming is actually a scone the way that it's intended to be.
No, you did. You had one in Cheddar Gorge. We went to that little tea room and you had scone with the jam and the clotted cream.
I thought that was a biscuit. But biscuits aren't biscuits. That was a scone?
Biscuits are very similar to scones. That I will give you. This is
what I'm saying.
They are very, very similar. Apart from we have them as a sweet thing, you have them as a savory thing. They're lighter though. Scones are lighter than biscuits. But yes, you have eaten scones.
Oh shit. We've got Slab saying scones are trash. Steve Navreeve saying don't even get me started on scones. Guys, this is dangerous.
The podcast to go this way.
I know. This is why we do a live show though, okay?
It's incredible. Incredible. I love it.
Lolly is currently holding in a very impolite joke about grandma being a bike.
Hey,
just want to
do
point
it.
that out.
She won't care.
Oh my god, the chat's
Amazing.
hilarious.
The chat is so good.
Scone rhymes with gone. Scone.
Gone? Doesn't rhyme with gone at all. Rhymes with gone. Slab your garbage.
I will say that the scone that I had in England was fucking delicious.
Right?
But it was more what we call a biscuit, and it was a sweet biscuit.
That's what they are. Yeah.
Texture, like that's here in the US. But I am now afraid of referencing food that I know any longer. I'm not afraid.
Just don't start the jam on top of cream versus vice versa debate you will be here until New Year. Personally, I have the jam first and the clotted cream. And I can't even remember if that's the offensive way or not. It's just the way that I do it. I think most people do the clotted cream first and then the jam. But that's not how I do it.
I offended multiple people by how I ate when I was in England.
Oh my goodness, you did.
So I don't know about these things, and I have a lot to learn. I recognize
you asked
that.
for a croissant with your fried breakfast, and the farmer just went, "What?
What?
What are you doing?"
And then I called it bread.
Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, so can I have that instead of bread?" And he's like, "What?" He may as well have asked for a pizza instead of bread.
Mm-hmm. Random question from Link. Is Aaron going to come back on Captain's Pod anytime soon? The answer is anytime soon, no.
Just no, he's been banned. He will return for Strange
answer.
New Worlds season 2, we believe.
Yes.
All being well.
That's the hope. The hope is that we all have enough bandwidth for Aaron to come back on that show in particular, because he really enjoyed watching the first season, obviously, with us.
So good. So good. So good.
I only have a couple more comments that I pinned, and Aaron is fine. It's just bandwidth.
No, he is.
Yeah.
We're all this 3 people on one podcast wipes out half the team for 3 hours. No idea.
I'm not sure, Jagged. I haven't gotten a message, but he's not always one to just share that stuff right away. So we'll see. The pause was unsettling. I apologize. I'm so sorry to concern everyone. Aaron is fine.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
What have you done?
Oh my God. Oh no.
Aaron, we need proof of life.
Okay, we need to message Aaron. He needs to make an appearance. We have to come to a decision on his grandpa name. Yes, we can do that. Let me just put up again that our Discord group. So if you guys want to join on Discord and continue these conversations, even beyond when we're live, it's such a great community. Almost all of you are already in Discord. And even though I'm not very active, I do scroll through your chats. They just warm my heart. I love this community so fucking much. There is a reason that I will endure the brutality of Captain Whittington.
Oh, ouch.
And it's because I love you guys.
Ouchies. She does it for you, not for me. Not even for Star Trek. Does it because she loves you.
Why is it called Discord, Mark? It seems so wrong, doesn't it? Like,
Discord is a conversation.
I thought it was
discourse.
Like, I guess I feel like Discord is the negative version in my head.
Well, that would be discordant.
Mm-hmm. But
opening up a Discord is good. But yeah, discordant is bad. Single. Okay. That's fair.
Okay. I have 2 more comments, and I hope it's okay to put it up, Shireen, but I wanted to address this. I wish I had some money. I want a CinemaSins hoodie so bad, but I live in the Netherlands, so on top of the hoodie price, there is the shipping, a Sag face. Yeah. And also, how could there not be a crumpet hoodie? Let me answer both those questions. Let me just address that, because it's important. There's not a crumpet hoodie because I don't know how to Photoshop very well. That's the quick answer.
Amazing.
But I have hopes that the next year I can really focus on merch. I've said that a few times. It's not that I don't mean it. It's that we've been really fucking busy. But I want to do something where I can get something like this for you guys. We don't have these for sale because reasons I couldn't get them in the store this way. But here's the center prize that I had made. It was like a little test thing that I did. So we will have merch hopefully soon. It is so expensive, some of the things, and we don't get to necessarily set all of our prices when we use our third party. So the fastest way to get merch to you guys is through Teespring. That's kind of the easiest way to do it. And we really want to have good quality stuff. And so some of the prices are high, and our hoodies are expensive. But if you do end up getting a hoodie, they're really comfortable. And hopefully I'll have some other options too, like kind of like the higher end thread count stuff. And then I'll maybe be able to put some other ones in there that are a little bit more affordable, maybe thinner material, so that it would offset the shipping. But yeah, Teespring has pros and cons. And unfortunately, the pros outweigh the cons, which you would think would be fortunate. But one of the reasons is because they connect to YouTube, so we can actually put them up on our channel and you can see like the connection there. And they have the one of the easiest ways to get everything shipped out. But there was one day I went and I ordered like 6 different shirts, and I had to pay shipping on every shirt individually because it was all being done by different manufacturers. So we're aware of that, and we're sorry for that. It is definitely something I wish I could fix. It is okay, good. See, I love that. I'm glad you have that shirt, Jagged.
Yeah, if it's going to be expensive regardless, so you may as well make it really comfortable.
But it's not like one of those things where you can buy a whole bunch of merch and it's just all you have one shipping. It's like shipping for all individual stuff. So you do have to kind of pick and choose. But we do try to get our prices as low as the site will let us because we're not making money on merch.
So heck no. Right, I have tried to ping Mr. Dicer. I think he is knee deep in a very special project, but he is good. He's good.
You want a Stormtrooper? Oh my God, that's a great idea.
So great. Make a note of that shit.
Oh, I want to do so many cool things, guys.
No, let's go.
You know how in the Matrix you can just plug your brain in and you acquire skills? I want to do that so bad.
I know Kung Fu.
I know Photoshop. Yes, it's per item. Be careful when you order. If it's multiple of the same kind of hoodie, it might come from the same manufacturer. But if it's like 3 or 4 different kinds of items, the way that Teespring works is they have different kind of hubs of manufacturers and they're in charge of different things. So I had like an all over print shirt and I had a hoodie and I had this and I had a that, and it was very costly. Also,
I did the same and then looked at shipping and went, nope.
Yeah, nope. I did the same thing. So when you do that though, Shireen, you can just message me directly on Discord again, because sometimes I'll be able to do like discount codes. Sometimes the discount codes do not work because we've already got it as low as it'll go, but I'll do that. Hi, Eights.
Hey, we are still here, just about nearly murdered by the ambassador, but we are still here.
Fun story. I bought the shirt and the very next day didn't give a discount code. Oh, next time you order something, let me know and I'll see if I can get you another one. How about that?
Sweet. So kind.
Anything with a team. Also. Oh, like an also shirt.
Also. Yeah.
That'd be so fun. Fuck. Guys, you've got great ideas.
I want to send West Converge. I want this too. I've got to design the thing first, but yes, I would love that so much.
I'm sad I missed out on my Live Life and Do Stuff shirt. Oh no. Okay, well, if we run it, I'm just telling you guys, I can turn those things. I can go back in and just say, yeah, let's do it. I can turn that on, but I have to make sure I can let you know about it. So I'm open to ideas.
We have a special treat. We have a Dicer. We have proof of life.
I'm just trying to get some Taco Bell, guys. What is going on?
Can you order me something? Order me some crumpets.
Oh, I want Taco Bell.
Some crumpets from Taco Bell you want? Okay.
Yes, please. Yes,
listen.
please.
Okay, so here's what happened. Someone said, "Is Dicer a grandpa yet?"
No. That's not what inspired this. Somebody asked if Commodore Dicer was going to come back on the show. And Danae replied with a long pause. The short answer, no.
Interesting.
The entire chat just blew up.
It's because...
to be fair, the question was anytime soon. And then she said no. And then there was a big dead silence. And the chat just went, is he okay? Is he?
I panicked, everyone, because I paused. And here's why I paused, Aaron. I paused because I was trying to remember when Strange New Worlds comes out, and I was realizing the Picard comes first, then Strange New Worlds, and so you're not coming back until Strange New Worlds. So I paused to think about it. I answered the question, and in that gap, which was a little long, inadvertently a little long, people thought that you weren't okay. So thank you for you're fine.
Listen, this is the effect I have on people, Danae. I remember I once texted you, goodbye, Danae, and simply because I was leaving for the day, and you thought I had died and was in a mangled car crash. So
it was a really unexpected text message.
Sure. So
yeah, you can
listen,
absolutely send me 100%.
I would have preferred. Let me center myself for you, Ian, or whoever's messing around with the graphic.
It's not me. I'm hands free. I'm not doing it.
I would have preferred that I got this call after my haircut, but before the haircut's fine
it's
too.
Fine.
So,
it's fine.
During, I would have preferred during. Just get the permission of everyone in there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Lolly says it was a sinister pause.
It really was. People were calling there was a spike to 911 calls in that moment in Springfield. Amazing.
I am here. I am alive. I am here. I had a clear shot to a Taco Bell drive-thru that is now 5 cars deep. So
go.
Thank
We
you
love
both.
you. We're wrapping the show. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Love you both. Bye.
I did it. Proof of life. I mean, it
Okay.
did look suspicious that he was in a car, but at least he wasn't in the trunk.
You're not wrong, Zink. His hair is getting to Pike level of loftiness, and that's on purpose. I don't know if he's trying to mimic Pike, but his hairstylist told him he wants him to grow out the top, so he's in the growing out phase. I wanted to come back and circle to this. That earlier the question was, should Danae reveal which channel the script is for? And I wanted to come back to that because it's been a while, and then we're going to go ahead and raid into classy packs, you guys. The options were no, and okay, maybe, but no. And there were 71 votes for no.
That's what I predicted. It's
79 if you include the other no's. And an additional 41 if you include the maybe but no's. So just thank you, everybody, for turning in your channel points to vote on something that was just so stupid. Hey, Venkat.
Our day is going great.
We're having a wonderful day. We're just wrapping up our podcast recording. You guys can check out this podcast episode live in your feed next. And just as a reminder, we're going to be live again on Monday for the next episode of this podcast, CinemaSins podcast, called Captain's Pod. And we also, again, just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. Thank you guys for listening and for being so supportive. And all of your ideas as well. So we're going to raid into Classy Packs today because he's playing an interesting game I think you guys might enjoy having on in the background.
Before we go, can we get another round of red alert emojis? Because I love it.
Please throw up your favorite emotes in the chat, please, before we go. And also, we're going to be raiding into Classy Packs because sometime soon we're going to be having Classy Packs on the Captain's Pod show. More about that coming up soon.
Yeah, we are.
Monday, indeed. Thank you guys so fucking much.
As well.
Jump in the raid, and then when everybody jumps in, we will head over to say hi to Classy Packs. You guys are awesome.
Love you guys.
You guys are the best. Is that the next one? Season 6, episode 12, is that right?
Yeah, it's correct. Yeah, season 6, episode 12. Thanks, Zink.
Thank you for helping produce the show.
Someone has to.
Happy Christmas season to you guys, or happy holidays to you. Please be safe out there for those that are in the U.S. and really, really cold. Stay safe, stay warm, and we'll see you after presents are opened and people are fed, at least from my house, and I'll give you stories. I'll give you stories on Monday about how it goes, if I survive. Okay.
You will.
Live long, Podspur. Bye.
Bye much.